So this is a dashboard about Cincinnati Fire Department incidences and data in 2017. It was completed by Lauren Jensen, Elise Bruns, and Casey Kotnick. So we chose this specific topic because the city of Cincinnati actually has a lot of data, public data, for anyone to access online, whether it's something through City Works or a police department or any type of service calls. So we thought it would be really interesting to focus in specifically on the fire department. We also wanted to look at the fire department's data and kind of split it up by neighborhood, so a user is able to look up specific data within their neighborhood, whether it's the total amount of incidents, amount of calls in any time of day, and then an average response time for that neighborhood. So I think that'd be pretty useful for really anyone who wanted to get that information about the fire department in their neighborhood. So for example, also I do apologize that this isn't on screen record. My microphone does not work. But say we wanted to look, well, we've got a really nice map here that shows all the incidents within 2017, and it's also coordinated by color. So you can kind of see that here. So for example, let's see, this pink coral is downtown, and the red is Westwood. So it's all broken up into incidents and by color per neighborhood. So if we want to make this more interactive, we can go and search neighborhoods. So I live in Oakley. So let's see, I'll find data from Oakley. And it will pull up, let's see, all the calls in the Oakley area in this nice pink color. And if you just drag over your cursor to specific circles, you see that there was a system malfunction, and it tells you the alarm time and the street address and the incident type. So we thought that was kind of cool. Also, in the total amount of incidents, you can see that the assorted accidents in Oakley was about 290. An alarm malfunction, which I guess is the best incident to have when it comes to the fire department, is, let's see, 150. And then actual fire is 76. So that's kind of nice that you can break it up by neighborhood so you don't have to look at all this other data. So let's zoom back out in the map and say you live in Columbia Tusculum. That's actually my old neighborhood. Oops. And you see Columbia Tusculum in the map, and you can zoom, which is a really nice function. It just shows the map of Cincinnati and the different neighborhoods. But you can see Columbia Tusculum is this green color, and it tells you again the address, what type of incident it was, and an alarm, or I guess when a call was made to the fire department. So that's pretty cool as well. And you can also see, oh, forgot to mention this with Oakley, but in the neighborhood, we calculated an average response time per neighborhood. So how we did that is there was data available where it had the exact time of an alarm or a dispatch. So when the fire department got the call and got notice that there was an incident, and then it also recorded the arrival time of the fire department. So what we did is we calculated the difference and then took the average for about the year. So in Columbia Tusculum, the average response time is 5.87 minutes, which I think is pretty decent. But we were able to do this with all the neighborhoods, which is pretty interesting. And then let's see what else we have here. You can also see the total amount of incidents in the Cincinnati area in 2017. The assorted accidents, I'm not really sure exactly what that means. I guess maybe something a little more specific that they couldn't code with the previous categories. But you see that there's about 9,978. Alarm malfunction, 7,403, and then so on and so forth. And let's see, and it's calculated by which incidents occur more frequently in Cincinnati. Also the amount of calls and the time of day. So we had the most calls look like from noon to 6 p.m. in Cincinnati in 2017. So we were also able to break that up into time periods. And then also the average response time, and it's color coded. So the darker the blue is the higher the response time. So let's see. Let me see here. So we can see that based on the gradient, Sailor Park Cincinnati is the one with the highest or the longest response time, and it kind of goes into that as well. So that was kind of interesting. I think that's a useful kind of tidbit for someone that's living in that neighborhood to look up and kind of be aware. We did run into some problems with the data. You can see here that there's a null category. So I don't think that a lot of the data was maybe not coded correctly by a firefighter or a dispatcher. So that could, cause some issues with the data, it being a human error. Also, another challenge we had is that this isn't really the most recent data. The latest data we were able to pull was from 2017, which is 2019 now. So I think we would want the most accurate information as possible. So maybe being in 2018, or if they have something coming in 2019, I think that data may be more useful. And then you could actually compare side to side, is the response time improving in some neighborhood, or is the amount of incidents down? So I think that would be useful to look into. Also, another challenge was that the categories were very broad. So assorted incidents, I guess, again, that is something that couldn't specifically be coded. And then there was just a lot of different specific incidents, kind of too broad of categories. So you can't exactly see what is going on in each neighborhood. It's just, I guess, a miscellaneous category. And then also you see here that the average response time was null. And we also did get some blanks in the data that we were looking at. Maybe if a portion of the call wasn't recorded, like the alarm time, or if the neighborhood wasn't coded correctly. Also, what could have happened is that Norwood, for example, is technically its own city, even though it's in Cincinnati city limits. So if there was a call made in Norwood, we don't really know, would that be available on the Cincinnati data website, or does Norwood have their own, I guess, little data site that they use? And there's really, regarding the response time, there's really no way to determine if there were any outliers for specific neighborhoods throughout the year, like if the road conditions were bad, or say a person lives farther away from a fire station than another person, so it's not exactly reflective of, a firefighter's response time. It's just that the person may live farther away. But all in all, I think that Tableau is a really good program to kind of input this information and display it so a user can accurately view it. I would recommend, though, if Tableau was more collaborative, especially with group projects, we had to kind of take a lot of extra time to get everyone on the same page, I guess, putting all this data together, because we all did a part of it and it was a little harder to collaborate. But again, all in all, really enjoyed the program, and we hope you enjoy our dashboard. Thanks.